It's Thursday, July 14th, 2022. It is 4 p.m. It's a regular monthly board meeting of the Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority. This meeting is called to order. Mr. Lawrence, have any letters and communications to the board?
No, but I would like to make one comment concerning the Ogdensburg City DPW. We had a water main break in the middle of June, right in the middle of one of our offloading one of our vessels, and I want to compliment the DPW and the water department for the quick response, and they had that repaired within 3 hours. It was just amazing. They came in, cut the asphalt, got down, found the leak that had cracked in the pipe, and we were good to go within 3 hours. And real professional, really well done work. And I just wanted to let the public know that they've got a good department there. So they really fixed this up. So I just wanted to mention that.
Good. Yes, we should thank them for coming that quick and taking care of the problem that quickly and as well as they did. So I echo that. Thank you. Anything else? Anyone have any questions or discussions on the letters of communications that was in the board read file? Nicole? Yeah, with us. Move on to approval of the board minutes. Mr. King, the minutes of June 7th, 2022 and June 29th, 2022. Have you had the opportunity to review those?
I was not here for those. I believe they were sent to others.
Yeah, Megan and Nicole reviewed the one that they were.
And no changes?
No.
Okay. Considering there was no changes, is there a motion to approve the June 7th and the June 29th board minutes?
Also move.
And made
I'll second.
and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Anyone opposed? They are approved. Committee reports. Finance, Mr. Coffin.
We had a meeting of the Finance Committee and went over the most recent report. At this stage in our fiscal year, it covers a pretty short period of time. And while there were some interesting numbers in both accounts payable and accounts receivable, they were both reflecting how few months we've covered so far, vagaries that happen when you budget in one month and do business in another month, but also things that happen when you have a good windmill project at the port and it does a lot of business. And Patty has numbers on those things, so I would defer to her with pleasure and appreciation.
Thank you. If we look at the statement of financial position first, our balance sheet, you will notice under accounts receivable, we've separated that into regular and wind turbine. The regular accounts receivable are at 225,000. 93, almost 94% of that is either current or 1 to 30 days. So our collection rate is excellent. Of the 821,000 for the wind turbine, we've been paid about 700,000 of that, but we've also added now another few $100,000 that should be coming due shortly. The grant receivable, you'll notice, is very large, over 6 million. The 6 million is what is due from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers for us to return to the state from the harbor deepening project. Our other assets, construction in progress, you'll notice has come down from approximately 18 million to 4 million. We completed the Malls F project for the accounting phase, and we have also moved the Tiger bridge painting project into fixed assets. Our accounts payable, we have regular New York State retirement and project payables. Our regular payables are just at about $1 million. Of that, over half of it belongs to the wind turbine project. Then we still have 169,000 for New York State, and right now only 63,000 in project payables outstanding. Any questions on the balance sheet? If we look at the budget to actual, I'm just going to highlight one or two items here. Our rental on bridge revenue, you'll notice that we are under budget. Our rental income is spot on, but our bridge traffic started slowly in April. We were only at about 107,000 in April, but we have picked up to 155,000 in June. So we're optimistic that we will get closer to our number as the summer goes on. Airport revenue fuel sales, much stronger than we had anticipated in the budget. We go down to bridge salary expense. We are under budget, but we have not hired two positions that were vacated. One was a retirement last year, and one was Mr. Lawrence's position before he became executive director. And the employee benefits, of course, are based on the hires, so if one is under budget, so will the other. Airport expense, fuel sales, it's well over budget. We purchased much more than we anticipated, and we paid way more than we anticipated for fuel. Right now, our revenue is not covering the purchases, but because we're fairly well stocked, we may not have to purchase a lot in the future, well, in the short-term future.
Right.
So our sales should start to cover that soon. And that is about it for the budget to actual. Are there any questions on the budget to actual report?
I don't think that either David or I or Sam have any questions. We've gone over it before.
Mhm.
Did you have any questions you wanted to bring up?
I do not.
Thank you, sir.
I think that covers the financial committee report then.
You? Nicole on?
Yep, I'm here now. I was muted. Emery's quiet over here.
This is
I don't-
Tony. I also made it. I heard Patty's report, so thank you. I don't have any questions.
Good, thank you. Personnel Committee, Jen?
Yes.
Yes?
Is that Megan?
That's
Yeah.
Megan.
Megan, you there?
I am, Sam. I'm here.
Good, good. Did you have any questions on the Finance Committee?
Nope, I'm all set. Thank you, Patty and Chris.
Okay, then we will move on to the Personnel Committee. Jen?
Okay, yes, the Personnel Committee met on July 7th at 5 p.m. The meeting was held in its entirety in executive session as applicants for the position of Director of Operations were selected for final interviews. Those interviews will be held Monday, the 25th of July from 5 to 9 p.m.
Okay. Any questions? Okay, let's move on. Income and expense report we've had. The bridge traffic report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Auto crossings, as Patty mentioned, they've improved in June. Not substantially, but they're moving in the right direction, and they're kind of matching up with what we anticipate. If you see the percentage in there. The one thing that's remained strong is truck traffic. And that's when you compare it to 2019 or 2021, it's all relatively in the same ballpark as a normal year, which that's encouraging that that part of it. It did drop off there early in the year, as you recall, because of the need for vaccination of truckers. So it seems to have rebounded there. But you do see that in the revenue portion of that, we're roughly $100,000 down from a normal year. I did do a summary to date by calendar from January through June 30th, and we are down compared to 2018 by $503,000 in
Year to date?
calendar year to date, not fiscal,
Right.
but basically 6 months. We're down I assume, with things improving, the next 6 months shouldn't be that bad. But yeah, it shouldn't be that bad, but hard to say with so much out there. Anybody got any questions on those numbers or bridge traffic?
Actually, it's good to report on that. A lot of people may not realize, well, it appears that the border is open. There's still circumstances that reasons why others are not traveling as much as they might have before COVID. And it's important for everyone to realize that we are still way below what we were before COVID and how that financially affects us. So that's a good report to give on the fact that we're still behind so far this year, $500,000 on bridge revenue.
I thought the news story, I think it is in today's Watertown Times, that Corey Fram from the Thousand Island Tourism Council was talking about how bridge or traffic and border crossing is much better. The article, I think, probably gave an impression that it's better than it actually is. Because the article reported that in Ogdensburg, traffic was up 240 some percent. It's,
Numbers can.
we're talking about screwy numbers. It's tough times versus catastrophe.
Right.
And tough times are better off than catastrophe is.
One thing to point out too, though, that that 47% number matches a lot of, even the larger ones are seeing that percentage.
Mhm.
So it's you think of different areas and you think of Erie or Niagara Falls, that area, you think, oh, maybe they're way, but generally they're seeing the same percentage of in loss of traffic.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like, well, misery loves company. But
They're 47% higher than
it's
ours.
all a heck of a lot higher.
Right.
Any questions on the bridge traffic report? Nicole, Tony, Megan?
Nope, I'm all set. Thank you.
No questions.
questions?
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
I'm all set, thank you.
Okay, move on to the airport activity report. Stephanie?
Okay, thank you, sir. The airport activity report, we had 721 enplaned passengers in June. We're still down, but we're starting to make a recovery. We will have more flights in July. And the traffic in the last 2 weeks, week over week, I've seen an improvement, and projections for next week are looking pretty good as far as the flights go. The occupancy report, if you take a look at that, we do have one vacancy. We have one vacant hangar right now. That gentleman has left, and I've not found anyone to take that hangar right now. And If you look at the report, every section that has Sky West on there will be replaced next month with Contour. So we're not losing anything as far as that goes.
Okay.
And we're still pretty tight on space.
Okay. Any questions? Anyone?
None here.
Nicole or Tony?
I don't have any questions.
All set, thanks.
Okay, good. I have two. One, why are the planes so much higher than any plane?
More people are coming back, I guess. And that is,
I mean, it's almost double.
not quite double, but yeah, we had 859 people get off the flight.
I'm talking about year to date.
Oh,
Or is that all the way across?
no, that's all the way
So I'm
across.
looking-
No, you're looking at,
Oh, okay, that's
yeah,
okay.
not,
That explains it.
it's still more getting off than getting on, but,
Yeah, but 400 is different than 4,000.
I'll do it 400.
4510
Yeah, 45,
versus 4198.
right. Yes,
Okay,
that's
all
the
right.
difference.
I'm thinking, why is everybody coming?
Yeah.
Something I don't know. The other thing is, we still have a contract with a air consultant.
Yes.
I think it's time to reach out and ask if they would provide us with some information on low-cost carrier. At this point, just information on who may be out there, who we might consider at least talking to. You know, as much as I've heard people saying they're thankful that Contour's here, that direct flight to Florida is sorely missed by a lot of North Country people, and I'm sure Southern Ontario. So I think now's a good time to at least start a discussion.
Yes.
I would concur with that.
Yeah, absolutely, me too.
The three top low-cost carriers are Allegiant, Spirit, and Frontier. And if you've been keeping up with the news, Frontier put a bid in to buy Spirit.
That's interesting.
And then at one point, JetBlue had put in a bid to buy Spirit. They rejected JetBlue, but it's still an ongoing bidding process. So we might
They're
be
the
down to.
big 3 or 4, I guess, but there's got to be others out there.
Yes, you've got your Sun Country. That's one of the bigger, smaller ones that we could take a look at.
Okay. Let's open that discussion. Please.
I
Right,
think the merger between Spirit and Frontier is a done deal. They both advertise them right on their websites, right in the banner on the top that they have combined. So I think it's official.
Interesting.
I don't know if it's been approved. Well, it hasn't been approved yet by the
Through the
FAA.
FAA, but they've agreed to it.
Yes.
Thank you, Nicole. Anything else? No? Let's move on to port activity report. Mr. Lawrence?
As far as grain activity, or we have had a few salt shipments to fill some orders there in the early part of July. And then grain is, shipments have slowed, and just not much is going out there. We're just slowly depleting what's stored in the buildings there. You'll see on the front of my port activity report, there's one photo there that was quite interesting. At one, well, when we had the Happy Ranger in for the blades, we had to have 9 cranes in use on 2 days. And you'll see 7 of them were shore cranes and 2 of them were vessel cranes. But I get kind of blind because I'm out there all the time. And somebody just pointed that out to me that day. You don't realize just how busy we are or what it looks like to, the uninitiated. So I just kind of wanted to point that out there. And we did do our first rail car of steel shipment to Houston. We loaded that. That was a learning experience. We haven't done that in my 20 years there, so it's a new venture for us. There's quite a learning curve with that because there's a lot of railroad regulations required when you've got to secure heavy steel on a flat car. So we were able to finish that in 2 days last Friday, and we are shipping some steel by truck there. But we've got roughly out of the 2,000 ton order that was stored there, we've shipped out roughly 350 tons there. It's probably going slower than we expected. It did take up a lot of room for that we could have used with the wind project, but we got around that. So that's kind of in a nutshell. And the wind turbines, another 2 weeks for the One Vestas project, and that'll be done. And then we'll be just dealing with the large windmill blades right through probably the end of September, and we'll have shipment of blades the middle of August there. So that's probably all you'll see there come August. You'll just see blades down there. And we are doing a lot of dismantling of the fixtures as they're shipped. They don't go to the site. We take them all off, we sort them out, and then it's kind of a third little project. They need those fixtures to get back to the factories so that they can ship them out. So we organize all of that, and then there's a lot of trucking or containerized things that we'll be doing through the month of August. Any questions?
Good to be busy.
Yeah.
Before I move on, Mr. King, are you hearing anything about storage of grains at the end of the season? Is there any talk about where up north, those that are growing any grain at all, if they're anticipating a larger than usual crop? Or
No.
nothing? Too early or?
Too early. Most people don't commit. They try to figure out different ways, right, other than pay storage. I know the one guy who did last year was thankful, but hopes to never do it again.
Can you talk, was that
Cost.
just cost, or was it something we did?
No,
Or did-
no, it worked out
Okay.
fine, just cost. The cost in and out, the scaling in and out, and the timing of dealing with the personnel who are not there on farmer hours. Not a big deal, I mean, not really. I mean, if it worked out, it's better than leaving the crop in the field, so. So at the same time, but I know a couple guys have added storage, we'll see. But the crop isn't as good this year.
No?
Yeah, it was exceptional last year.
Yeah, last year was a wreck.
Can I ask you one question? I've noticed we had a wet May, right? And I noticed a lot of just haylage and stuff never got cut, like a first cutting and then baled again. Is that because of fuel prices or was that because of the weather?
Both.
Both. And will that have an effect on this area in grain? Will fuel prices, will that affect how much they plant and everything like that?
Well, it did. I mean, there were certainly differences in people's planting plans about what they were doing.
What considering what they would have planned?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that fuel definitely entered in. That was a big discussion. Fuel, fertilizer, all that stuff. So I don't know if there's going to be a big need. I mean, obviously, we'll talk to people as it comes, but it's a lot to go, not a growing to go on yet before we get there. Good question, but
Thank you.
I wouldn't anticipate big usage.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
We have a great facility here for that, okay? But
Well, no, to take in your comments though, are important. And I mean, if we were to have to range hours at the right time of the year, it's not all year long. So to understand that would be helpful.
No, once he understood how it worked, that's all part of it, just to figuring it out, right?
Yeah.
So.
Good. Anthony, building occupancy report?
Yes, so a number of our small spaces are still available. We've been looking into strategies on how to kind of utilize those maybe in more unique ways because they're not a large revenue generator. What you'll notice different this month is that building 11 has now 20,000 square feet available. Our tenant is ceasing their New York operations. So much work has been done. We have a number of potential tenants to take that space over the next month or so. I can't go into many details, but it ends up being a lot of moving parts to see who, there's some potential on reshuffling of current tenants. There's interest from new tenants. So really what I could say is that I'm optimistic that we will fill that space with what we hope is the right tenant and right mix for our Commerce Park.
Good. You been on the road lately?
A very little bit. I was actually in Albany. I was at the
Talk a little bit about that.
the New York State Economic Development Council hosted an economic development training for early career folks. I was able to meet a lot of nice folks, a lot from Empire State Development, NYSERDA, different kind of IDAs from around the state, a couple from out of state. And it was just a really good networking, as well as hearing kind of the latest trends in economic development. So a lot of things that we could repurpose for our operation. Our organization is one small chunk of the local economy, but I think we could really help spearhead some efforts and use our Commerce Park campus as a test bed for placemaking and show what could be accomplished for our area. So I'm excited about it.
We're gonna send him up to the embassy soon.
Yeah, we have a Canadian trip next week.
We?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, just been working on, you'll see there's a number of resolutions that we've been working on with our current tenants to get them signed up for continued occupancy. So
Good.
happy for that.
Good. Thank you. Any questions of Anthony?
No, it sounds like you're doing a great job, and I'm glad you're making those connections. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Megan?
No, thank you. I appreciate the update.
Tony?
I do not have any questions. Thank you.
You? Okay, let's move on. Unfinished business. None, is that right, Mr. Lawrence?
That's correct.
Okay, business items, general administration,
We have none.
okay. Augsburg Prescott International Bridge. Agreement with Tisdale Associates, agenda item B1.
Yes, agenda item B1 is a requirement that we maintain the border station, and that's all part of the lease that we have with General Services Administration. We get paid monthly as part of operating the border station, and part of that is we have to do upkeep on the building and the premises, and we've been roughly 17, 18 years and no paving has been done up there. It's held up relatively well, but there's comes a time where the GSA is insisting that we take a look at all of the paving, and it's time to do a lot of resurfacing work. With that, we need to know, and what I'm trying to do here is because the cost of paving is going to be extremely large, I want to phase this. So in order to do that, we need an engineering firm that Tisdale did all the original work on that. So they have the drawings. They're very comfortable with everything up there. What I want them to do is evaluate what in their mind, what the current pavement is like. And then we probably kind of, we go at the worst spots first are the most important and the highly traveled stuff.
Mhm.
And then we go from there, but almost have a plan to where we maybe go 3 or 4 phases and we come up with a number for that phase. You know, when it comes to paving, and you've all read in the paper, we can do an estimate in October for next year and it gets blown out of the water. So we're gonna have to look at a lot of that, but quite frankly, there should have been a lot of reserves in the border station to take care of this. That's what was done over the first 15 years, and those reserves were spent on other things. So really, we're going with what we can come up with and trying to match that with what GSA is going to require. But we have no excuse when it comes to that the lease they pay, and we're to maintain that. And you all know kind of a lot of the reasons where that, you know, where that funding goes, but it's something we got to take head on. So what I'm requesting here is a engineering agreement where they do a visual asphalt pavement evaluation for the existing border station property, and the evaluation will summarize in a brief written report on the existing site plan. And then TISDA will give a written opinion of the paving replacement and repair costs. And we'll use that when we come to budgeting in October and November. And we'll bring that to the facilities committee or the board there. So, and it's for a fee not to exceed $6,500. Any questions on that?
I was just going to comment that that's $6,500 is money well spent as far as getting right the engineering, basically expert opinion on what needs to be done first, so prioritized and what.
And to go to your point, and I say this a lot, what gets measured gets done. So if we just kind of think and, well, okay, we'll call in contractors for next year and we'll bid it, and you get all out of whack there. We really just really need to know what we need, but to your say, that'll determine what gets done.
Right.
But also we can present that to GSA saying we're serious about this and this is how we want to approach that.
I think if there's a plan, that it's much easier to say, to get them to commit to doing it on a step-by-step basis. Whereas if you say, well, we're going to do some.
No,
that's not credible.
And then we may both agree on what's the most needed area, and we try to make that fit what we're able to handle.
Yes.
I just had a super quick question again about the acronym GSA.
Oh, I'm sorry, General Service Administration.
Okay.
I've been hit up all this week with, I sent out a report to you by email, Mr. Coffin, and they were the ones that I see all the time, and I was just blind to it.
Yeah,
so there was a couple there that I had to correct, so I apologize.
Okay, no worries. Thank you.
We are aware of it, but and I've been saying GSA forever.
And Steve, some of them are ones when you told me what that was. Of course, that's.
But some of them, I have to go back and look and go, okay, I know what that is, but I don't know if that A is aircraft or air aviation or something.
Right.
So you want to make sure
Right.
So of course, you go to the internet and get it right.
Okay, the resolution before you, is there a motion?
Also move.
Made
Second?
I'll second it.
and second. Thank you. Any further discussion? Anne Marie, call the roll, please.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Coffin?
Yes.
Ms. Clerk Pickens?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Mr. Minelli?
Yes.
Oh, hanging on.
Ms. Whitten?
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Move on to agenda item C1.
Approval of lease supplement number 6 with NAC Logistics. So staff has negotiated lease supplement number 6 with NAC Logistics for 10,000 square feet of commercial space in building 3 of the Commerce Park campus for a 6-month period commencing September 1st, 2022 and terminating February 28th, 2023. at a rate of $3.86 per square foot, equaling $3,216.67 per month, or $19,302 for the 6-month period. NAC Logistics will be responsible for its prorated share of utilities. All of the terms and conditions of the original lease agreement shall remain in full force and effect and are hereby ratified and affirmed.
Thank you. Resolution before you, is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Made, the second?
Second.
Seconded. We're in discussion.
Yes, I was just wondering if there was a reason that it was only 6 months.
Yes, we're giving her an opportunity, the company, to reevaluate their business structure coming out of COVID. They needed a little more time to see what their business is going to look like in 6 months, essentially. So the long-term tenant, so we granted them the request with the understanding that the next renewal, if there's a next renewal, would be for a longer term, back to more traditional lens.
Okay, Tony?
Okay, thank you.
Good question.
Yes. Anyone else? No further discussion. Anne Marie, call the roll, please.
Mr. Coffin?
Aye.
Ms. Clerk Whitman?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Whitten?
Yes.
Ms. Terminelli? Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, agenda item C2.
Approval of lease supplement number 10 with T-Base Communications USA Incorporated. So staff has negotiated lease supplement number 10 with T-Base Communications USA Incorporated for 8,776 square feet of commercial space in Building 6 at the Commerce Park campus for a 3-year face period and 2 1-year option periods commencing April 1st, 2022 and terminating March 31st, 2025 through March 31st, 2027 at rates outlined in the below table. And just in summary, they graduate up. There's an escalation built in year by year. T-Base Communications USA Incorporated is responsible for its prorated share of all utilities. All of the terms and conditions of the original lease agreement shall remain in full force and effect and are hereby ratified and affirmed.
Motion is before you. I'm sorry, the resolution is before you. Is there a motion?
I would move.
Been made
I'll second.
and seconded. We're in discussion. Anne Marie, call the roll, please.
Ms. Clerk Whitman?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Whitten?
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Coffin?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Agenda item C3.
Approval of lease supplement number 4 with Day Automation. Staff has negotiated lease supplement number 4 with Day Automation for 1,235 square feet of commercial space in Building 4 of the Commerce Park campus for a 1-year period commencing June 1st, 2022 and terminating May 31st, 2023 at a rate of $7.54 per square foot, equaling $776 per month or $9,312 for the 1-year period. Day Automation will be responsible for its prorated share of utilities. All of the terms and conditions of the original lease agreement shall remain in full force and effect and are hereby ratified and affirmed.
Thank you.
This was the one that was a short term or?
No, this has been a long-term tenant.
Long-term one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Guess I was confused.
Yeah, we're in the process.
Does this reflect the same rate as the previous year, or is this an increased rate?
This is an increase of, I believe, 8.1%.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Is there a motion?
I'll move.
Been made, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Anne Marie, call the roll, please.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Whitten?
Ms. Kennedy,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Coffin,
Yes.
Ms. Corcoran.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Agenda item C4.
Approval of lease supplement number 2 with Strader Ferris International Limited. Staff has negotiated lease supplement number 2 with Strader Ferris International Limited for 10,134 square feet of commercial space in Building 4 of the Commerce Park campus for a 1-year period commencing June 1st, 2022 and terminating May 31st, 2023 at a rate of $5.11 per square foot, equaling $4,319.25 per month, or $51,831 for the 1-year period. Strader Ferris International Limited will be responsible for its prorated share of utilities. All of the terms and conditions of the original lease agreement shall remain in full force and effect and are hereby ratified and affirmed.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Also moved.
Made, is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Anthony, I just have the same question as before.
Yeah, it's right around in the same range. It's based on the increase in the consumer price index, based on the last year's rate to this year. So that was the guiding principle. Some of the dates are a little different, so the percentages might be off up to maybe 0.5%. So yes, it reflects an increase.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Any further discussion? Anne Marie, call the roll, please.
Ms. Whitten,
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Coffin,
Aye.
Ms. Corcoran.
Yes.
Mr. Burns.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Agenda item D1, the airport.
Agenda item D1 is the acceptance of the alternate essential air service grant offer from the United States Department of Transportation, USDOT. A number of you are familiar with this, but we realized that a lot had happened and timing hadn't gone up, so we hadn't had a resolution approving the grant offers. So the Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority has received a grant offer from the United States Department of Transportation to provide alternate essential air service, AEAS, at the Ogdensburg International Airport. The grant award is in the amount of $11,218,457 for a 27-month term beginning July 1st, 2022 through September 30th, 2024. The grant is payable according to the following schedule. And you'll see the first two are 12-month periods, and then the last one is a 3-month period for a total of 27 months. And it all adds up to the amount awarded there. Any questions or?
Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
And May,
Second.
second. Thank you. Any discussion? Anne Marie, call the roll, please.
Ms. Kennedy,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Coffin,
Yes.
Ms. Corcoran.
Yes.
Mr. Burns.
Yes.
Ms. Whitten.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Agenda item D2.
Go ahead, Stephanie.
Okay.
You wrote it. You know more about it than I do.
Staff has negotiated a lease agreement with Contour Airlines to lease 560 square feet of space in the passenger terminal building at the Ogdensburg International Airport. Their leases for this space expires September 30th on 2024. This agreement is in alignment with Contour Airlines agreement to provide alternate essential air service, AEAS, to the Ogdensburg International Airport per US DOT order DOT OST 1997-2842, and rent and charges will be paid as followed. Terminal space, $100 per aircraft turn. GST storage space is $1,500 a month, and ramp and other charges per our approved rates and charges. And be it resolved that the executive director is hereby authorized and directed to execute a lease agreement with Contour Airlines for 560 square feet of space in the passenger terminal building at the Ogdensburg International Airport for the term of July 1st, 2022 through September 30th, 2024 at the following rates that I've just mentioned. And it be further resolved that Contour Airlines shall provide proof of the appropriate insurance coverage, naming the Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority as additional insured. Contour will also provide a security deposit in the amount of $20,100.
Questions? Questions? Not, is there a motion?
I'll move the motion. Make the motion.
Second?
Resolution's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Anne Marie, call the roll, please.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Coffin,
Yes.
Ms. Corcoran.
Yes.
Mr. Burns.
Yes.
Ms. Whitman.
Yes.
Ms. Cornell.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Agenda item B3.
Staff has negotiated an agreement for air services with Corporate Flight Management Incorporated, DBA Contour Airlines, to provide AEAS service at the Ogdensburg International Airport from July 1st, 2022 through September 30th, 2024, in accordance with 14 CFR 380, which stipulates 12 flights per week with service to Philadelphia at a rate not to exceed the following amounts. Be it resolved that the executive director is hereby authorized and directed to execute an agreement for air services with Corporate Flight Management Contour Airlines to provide AEAS services at the Ogdensburg International Airport from July 1st, 2022 through September 30th, 2024, in accordance with 14 CFR 380, which stipulates the 12 flights per week with service to Philadelphia at a rate not to exceed the same following amounts. This is in alignment with the DOT grant. So we are not bringing to services that will cost any more than what the grant is providing. That being said, that there might come a time, hopefully the fuel prices will go down, and this was a big driver with Philadelphia, that we can renegotiate with Contour Airlines a different service.
Different destination?
Yes, to different service, different destinations. If it becomes feasible, and of course, if it stays within this, this amount, this gives us more flexibility to work with Contour Airlines for different destinations.
Do we have an idea of what that particular plane's range is?
It is the same size as your SkyWest aircraft. However, because they have 30 seats versus the 50 seats, it has a longer range. So further down south is conceivable for the future.
I'm not thinking Florida. I'm not thinking Georgia. Maybe thinking a little bit north of that.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Were you thinking that too?
I probably don't.
I am.
Yeah.
Yes,
All right.
Okay.
yes, that is entirely possible.
So you're saying a lot of what may drive that discussion is the price of fuel and our ability to fill plane,
Yes. Yes,
but the option
the option.
could be on the table.
The option could be on the table at any time that either the Bridge and Port Authority or Contour Airlines would like to make changes. We can open the discussion. The DOT would not be involved.
Oh,
it would be the discussion between these two entities and of course, if we chose to fly wherever and it exceeded the grant amount, if the Virgin Port Authority could afford to pay that, yes. But
Not like,
we would work within these parameters with the airline to get different destinations.
good. It's good to know.
That is good, yeah.
Good to know. Thank you. Is there a motion?
I'll move it.
Made, seconded? Any further discussion? Anne Marie, call the roll, please.
Mr. Coffin?
Yes.
Ms. Corcoran?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Whitten?
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Agenda item D4.
I'll handle that. I did send you a board memo earlier in the week, kind of going into more detail on the supplemental funding that's being requested by the FAA to complete the testing and acceptance of the runway 27 Malls F project. Stephanie helped me with the acronym. It's medium approach lighting flashing. What is that? Is that what it is?
Medium approach lighting system.
And F is flash. So that would be on this Route 68 side. We've got, that project is 96% or 7% complete. The remaining 3% is what will come out of the FAA inspection. The FAA has to certify that, and they'll put it into service if it meets all the qualifications. But part of that is we had to agree. We agreed to a certain amount. I believe it was before the project ever got off the ground, that we would pay them to do the testing and inspection. And what's happened here with COVID in the last 2 years, they've run out of the money that they've had to do the ongoing inspection. And so they're saying they have, they've come up short to complete the testing. So they're asking for the FAA is requesting a supplement due to field changes caused by site conditions, in addition to supply chain issues, weather conditions, and additional costs for shipping delays. The contractor was granted 20 additional working days to complete the out of scope items, which McFarland Johnson, and as you know, you granted McFarland Johnson a supplement for that work as well a number of months ago. But we haven't moved forward on it. I have been contesting this with the FAA for roughly 4 to 5 months, and I haven't gotten very far. So the FAA is recommending amending the original reimbursable agreement up to a maximum of 15%. This would cover 32,000 of the 32,728 of the 42,760, leaving $10,032 out of pocket costs to the OBPA. And you see, you'll see it right in there. And I gave you, I think, some more detail in the board memo there. The FAA will not complete commissioning of the Malls F system without receiving payment for the 42,760 from the OBPA first. So that means that I have to ask Patty to come up with that amount. We pay them, and then I don't know if the money will be turned right back over to us, but I don't think so. I think it'll be something that we'll get in a couple, 2 or 3 months, and we will be reimbursed for 32,278 back to the OBPA. I can't go any farther, or I'm not getting any progress. We just need to take care of this and get it done. I'm not happy with it, and I know a number of board members aren't either, but it's kind of what we're dealing with when you're dealing with all the things that came out of COVID and the FAA here. So I recommend that we pay this as quickly as possible to complete the project and just get on with it. You got no questions? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I guess it's just sort of, yeah, like comment question, I guess. So this lighting system, I just need a little refresher, and it has to do with our Class 1 airport. Was it a new regulation? How will that tie in with Contour? I mean, I agree, Steve, I think we need to finish it up, but could I just have just a quick refresher on what that project was, what motivated it, and, you know?
It is a lighting system that guides the aircraft in fall weather conditions.
Mhm.
There was one on the 27 end prior to the extension of the runway. And this is before my time, so correct me if I'm wrong, Steve. Because it was an FAA installation, and the Bridgeport Authority made the choice to take it down, we were required to put it back up. And yes, we're required to do it. But secondly, it's a safety factor. It's a better lighting. The other point is with the aircraft minimums, what they're allowed to land aircraft, weather conditions. This lowers the minimums, meaning they can land when the ceiling, the cloud cover and the ceiling are at a lower level.
Okay.
And that's where we run into a lot of problems in inclement weather.
Mhm.
It's not that the runway is bad, it's they cannot land safely with their
Right, okay.
rolls.
All right, yeah, thank you.
Without having that.
Thanks.
Just clarification for me, they had agreed to pay the 42, correct?
Excuse me.
They had agreed to pay the 42 and now they.
No, the original amount was 44, and then they were able to find another, what was it, $1,800?
1860.
That lowered that, but that, they have a summary of the original bill, and what they're saying, they added on to that, they're adding on to that original estimate that they gave us, and they gave the reasons for that, and just handed it over to us in February.
Mhm.
And so, it's not like, it wasn't like the project was gonna get started and you can find more funding. We're 95, 96% complete, and that was hanging out there. And they're saying that's part of the FAA that does the inspections, saying we're out of money, we can't send anybody, we can't do anything. This is what we need to complete it. So the way it was presented to me, I just felt it was a little bit too much pressuring. So that's with McFarland Johnson, we kind of just tried to see what we could do to get it funded rather than just outright pay it. But I probably extended my goodwill with the FAA too long right now. So that's part of the reason for that. Did that answer what you were?
It leaves me conflicted. Yes, is what I will say. I'm just conflicted because of that. I know what you're trying to do. I don't like it. I don't know.
Chris, you good?
Yeah, I'd be ready to make the motion unless there's more discussion.
I've already stated my opinion when we did the change order with McFarland Johnson, so I probably shouldn't say any more. So I'm good. Megan?
I'm all set. Thank you, Sam.
I think you feel the same way I do. Tony?
Yep.
I'm good, thank you.
There you go. Their motion.
I move approval of the resolution.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
No further discussion? Anne Marie, call the roll.
Ms. Corcoran,
Yes.
Mr. Burns,
I have to be second. Should have said something earlier. Yes.
Ms. Whitten?
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. King?
No.
Mr. Coffin?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you, Mr. King.
Doesn't matter.
I'm the principal. Principal.
Yes, it does. Okay, agenda item D5. D5.
Okay, B5, approval of property use agreement letter with Marcellus Construction Company Incorporated. Staff has received a request from Marcellus Construction Company Incorporated to use authority property located north of the Ogdensburg International Airport for a period of approximately 2 months during the summer of 2022 for the execution of the New York State Route 812 SOAR Corridor and Treatment Consolidation Project. Marcellus Construction Company Incorporated will be utilizing the property for directionally drilling under the surface of the ground for entry and exit drill pits and for staging pipe. The authority will require them to sign a property use agreement letter, which provides for the conditions under which they will need to abide by, such as fully indemnifying the authority from any liability from their use of the property and leaving the property in good condition. So this is essentially going to extend it's going to connect what Hewelton sewer system to
the
Ogdensburg.
the new Ogdensburg sewage treatment
Yeah.
plant.
So this isn't our project, but as it moves along, we can tie into this in the future.
Yes. They're, I don't know whether it's going to be a manhole or a T connection, or I can't remember the exact, how they framed it, but they're putting a marker for us to go to with, we'll have to have a pump station, and it'll have to meet a pressure that's higher than the actual running operational pressure of the line coming from Hewelton. So that's not too difficult, but we can't use gravity feed or anything like that. So we'd have to have a pump station, which will probably be the major cost of us doing the sanitary line to that, but we haven't got far to go. It'll be all on our property. And
That qualify for part of our $1 million a year?
I think it's part of, I don't know about that, but I know it's part of our big, the upstate airports.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, if that were to go, and then we could always look at that too, with as a standalone grant application or something there. And then should anybody want to use our property, that we've added value there by allowing them to go through that should we want to use it or put something on that, or somebody else come along. We know we have sanitary there, and then we're all working on water for the future there.
Was that connecting with Franklin Street?
Yes, it's going underneath. They're going to directional drill directly in line with Franklin, so it'll be going under the ball field.
Right.
There, but it's pretty amazing what they can do with HDPE pipe and directional drilling now. That's their plan, and I think they want to kind of use that as a base with storing the pipe and having all those machines ready to do the work there. So they are going to do, Anthony tells me they're going to brush hog that, which we normally do, but they'll do what they need to do there. So we'll get some value out of that.
Good. And that will start in September?
No,
I think next week.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know brush hog is going to start next week.
Oh.
We've
It's
kind
so
of,
long as it's approved.
they kind of asked about 10 days ago, but it was just it was a little more, not complicated, but it was a little more complex rather than just say, go ahead and do it and ask for permission. I told them we needed to bring it to the board and make you aware of what's going on there.
Good. Is there a motion?
I'll
So moved
second.
and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Can Marie call the roll, please?
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Whitten?
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Coffin?
Yes.
Ms. Corcoran?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Agenda item E1.
Agenda item E1 is the approval of the base bid award for the hydraulic feeder conveyor. This is the fourth piece of equipment that's associated with the Chrissy grant, which, once again, you don't know the whole, it's a consolidated railroad infrastructure.
Safety improvement program.
Yes, thank you.
Together we did it.
I'll do better next time. Oh, there it is in the bottom, consolidated rail infrastructure. Anyway, we received 2 bids and I had the bid analysis, and the staff is recommending the award to U.S. Material Handling Corporation of East Syracuse for a cost not to exceed $210,000. The project cost, that should be changed to 210. This was, I think I brought in the price of another unit. It's going to be funded as followed. And you see, it has an 800,000 max, the Chrissy grant has an 800,000 maximum funding match for the purchase of all the equipment to be purchased. Due to cost escalation since the grant award in 2019, there's no remaining Chrissy funding match for this equipment purchase. So the OBPA is responsible for the entire 100%. And I don't know if I said this with the other one, but with the other bid, is that once we committed with one machine, we can't back out of it. We were committed to buy 4 pieces of equipment, and unfortunately, we couldn't have picked a worse time with COVID and supply chain. And so our estimate was roughly $1 million for all of this, but it's gone up quite a bit more that will be put on a burden on us to take care of it. I don't know, we could look around to see if maybe there's a grant program that could supplement that, but a lot of them preclude you if you have federal money. They don't allow you to put that together. So it looks like we'll be paying the entire cost of that. Any questions?
Now, the correction you made is up above in the report with a project cost of 210,000.
Yes.
So it's not actually in the resolution itself.
No.
Right, so we don't have to change the resolution.
Okay, yeah, well, I did it corrected down there, yes.
Right, and correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the reasons why this is more than the 800,000 we anticipated is because it's also part of the Buy American.
Yes, all of the pieces of equipment. We rejected, I think 2 times we rejected the whole bid process because they couldn't meet the Buy American clause, but all of the pieces are all certified that meet the Buy American clause that's required for the grant. So that ups the price also.
Which we understand the
Yes.
logic behind the program. We just need to let others know that since we've gone ahead and done this, that maybe some of the funding that was set on for the harbor dredging could be used for this particular project.
Yes, and that's ongoing with that'll be part of the questions that were in our discussions with with Albany and the return of the port dredging money.
Right. It's my belief we can use that 5.8 million here.
One other, at least, benefit, and I think I've discussed this with Mr. Coffin, is that this equipment will be revenue generating. And also we have it in our toolbox, so to speak, when we want to offer different things, whether it's fertilizer, wood pellets, moving large amounts of ore. We have a new loader, And then also we have a new grain or rail car unloader that, and that's been very good to us we purchased that in 2010. That has allowed us to offload a lot of road salt, grain, and other commodities off rail. So we make that efficient. But the other three pieces will allow us to get back kind of rental to whatever small projects that we do, or projects that we do, whether it's loading vessels and things like that. So long term, that'll be of value to us.
Mhm.
Anyone else? Our motion
I'll make the motion.
been made? Seconded?
Second.
And seconded. Any further discussion? None. Anne Marie, call the roll, please.
Ms. Whitney?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Coffin?
Yes.
Ms. Clerk Wright?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Agenda item E2.
Mr. Chairman, that's the approval of a use permit for the St. Lawrence Kart Marathon. Given how busy we were down to port, we held off allowing or approving any use permits. But once we knew that there would be no need for the property down there at the port that's open to the public would no longer be needed, we have gone through with back to approving use permits. And this has been something we've done in the past with a number of carp tournaments. And we recommend, they've been very good about it, and we have no issues with it.
Good. Their motion.
So moved.
Moved, made. Second.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Not Anne Marie, call the roll, please.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Coffin?
Yes.
Ms. Clerk Wright?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Whitney?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. Agenda item F1, under other such matters.
This is
Patty,
the-
that's you?
Yes. This is the approval of a line of credit with Watertown Savings Bank. Staff is negotiating a line of credit and operating a checking account with Watertown Savings Bank to manage the payments to Contour Airlines under the AEAS service program. What will happen is we will open a checking account, an operating account, and we will have a line of credit with a value not to exceed $500,000. And when Contour submits its payment to the OBPA, we will draw off the line of credit. And then the account number that will be given to USDOT to reimburse the OBPA will be the operating account at Watertown Savings. We will have an automatic transfer policy in place that when those funds arrive, they will be put back onto the line of credit. We expect there'll be probably no more than 10 business days of interest on these transfers, on these line of credit withdrawals. We have been lucky enough to get a prime, flat prime, no plus. It is variable, so when prime changes, the rate will change, but we don't have anything prime plus 2 or anything along that line. We're very excited to be working with Watertown Savings Bank. I've been working closely with their president to craft this and get the information we need so that we have the line of credit in place by August 1st.
Yeah, to have a North Country Bank wanting to get involved and to assist us with this is kind of something we've been looking for, and we're very thankful for.
Yes.
What is prime these days?
Right now it's 5%. And we will open this account with probably $1,000 simply to have some money in that account. But as we did with Tompkins, we'll put some money in that account to pay any interest. So they can simply withdraw the interest out of that bank.
And this, I'm sorry, Chris, go ahead.
Have you made an estimate, let's say on an annual basis, of what you think interest charges will be incurred through this procedure?
No, I just got the prime rate yesterday, so I haven't.
I bet it doesn't amount to $1,000.
It, for 3 or 4 days of interest on 400,000, I don't think it will ever amount to a great
I'm
deal.
not really good at estimating these things, so I withdraw my, but I'll bet it doesn't amount to a lot.
No, it shouldn't.
So this is the big difference between the AEAS and the EAS.
Yes,
EAS, it comes directly from US DOT. AEAS, it comes from us first and then reimbursed from
US
US
DOT.
DOT.
Right.
Exactly. Thank you. Is there a motion
I'll move it.
made? Is there a second?
A second.
And seconded. Is there any further discussion? Anne Marie, call the roll, please.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Coffin,
Aye.
Ms. Cook Pickton,
Yes.
Mr. Burns,
Yes.
Ms. Whitten,
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Agenda item F2.
Okay, approval of supplemental lease agreement number 9 with Amex Duty Free. Staff is negotiating lease supplement number 9 with Amex Duty Free for the duty free building just before the American approach to the Ogdensburg Prescott International Bridge for a 1-year period from June 1st, 2022 through May 31st, 2023, and a rate of 15% of gross sales on both duty free and country store sales, with a minimum annual lease rental of $50,000. All other terms and conditions of the original lease agreement, including but not limited to duty free's responsibility for insurance, utilities, and upkeep of the property, shall remain in full force and effect and are hereby ratified and affirmed. So this is essentially a deviation from what we've had in the past.
Yes.
Maybe Patty can provide a little bit of historical.
The prior 10-year agreement with Amex Duty Free was a $100,000 minimum annual payment. However, with COVID and the somewhat slow return of traffic coming across that would be eligible to stop at duty free on the way back, we felt that this would benefit both parties to have something that would be sustainable for a year until we get back to what we hope is going to be a more normal situation with border crossing.
Okay. Is there a motion?
How do you determine gross sales?
They let us know every month what their gross sales were, and then they cut us a check for 15%. This is the plan.
So they do pay monthly, and then at the end of the year, if it falls short of 50,000, they'll just write
They
a
make
check
up the
for
difference.
And we're entitled to ask for, see the books.
We can see their financials at any time.
I think that this is just a reflection of the problems that COVID created. It's not as if we were going to be able to get more out of them.
No.
And that we, you take a decent deal instead of looking for a better deal.
Well, we both understand the traffic coming back and forth across the border right now. And even though it's picking up, it certainly isn't getting them any closer to having pre-COVID numbers.
Right.
And one thing though, before COVID, right around in 1920, airport traffic was so good and passengers from Canada that we were able to say to them, look, we put this out here. We've increased traffic through our own, our own means with the of that, and you could see traffic picking up, both for us, but also they had more, more exposure.
Mhm.
So we were headed in the right direction to where we had more firm ground to stand on, saying, look, we're trying to increase our bridge traffic, and we haven't, we still, that is our mission, but it was an easier sell when it came to negotiations and getting the full monies that we were entitled to.
Okay, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Been made, is there a second?
Second.
Second? Is there any further discussion? Anne Marie, call the roll, please.
Mr. Kaufman?
Yes.
Mr. Pittman?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Whitten?
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Is there anything else under other such matters?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Burns,
Yes.
this is Jennifer Granzo. Could I step in for a second? So, as you guys may have appreciated, we've been able to conduct business using video conferencing during the COVID period. However, with that coming to an end, Governor Hochul has extended video conferencing indefinitely, but indefinitely really means through 2024, when the bill would need to be renewed. However, there's some changes that need to happen with video conferencing, and it affects in particular if you need these remote members for quorum. So in order to participate by video, you can't do it by phone anymore. You have to be visible to the public. The public has to be able to see the members of the board as they're conducting business, whether that's in person in the board meeting or online. And if you are needed to make quorum, then your location has to be shared and open to the public, which recognized causes some problems. So in order for the OBPA to continue to conduct remote meetings as you have, you need to have a public hearing. And at that public hearing, you will consider policies that you'll have to put in place for how you'll conduct your remote meetings going forward, and what will be an excuse for a member to be permitted to attend remotely. And I can send you guys all a ton of documentation on this and what the guidelines should look like. But there's no statutory definition of what the excuse is for being allowed to attend remotely. But they look at things like unexpected travel or sickness or things like that cause a person to not be able to come. But a lot of public boards are also having a catch-all that gives some authority at the discretion of either the executive director or the chairperson of the board. So I would just ask that the board consider setting a public hearing that can be at the next board meeting to discuss this, and then hopefully agree on some policies going forward.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
When is our next meeting? August 16th?
August 16th.
That's my birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
It is my birthday. Jennifer, don't we need a motion to put that on the next agenda, public hearing?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Is it the 16th rather than the 18th?
Yes. Yeah, I had the 16th.
So we can go back to
Well, right.
Thursday issue.
Doesn't matter to me, one birthday's the same as the other.
Eeyore. And we can switch.
Yeah.
Chris, what works?
Either one's okay with me. I
16's
need to
okay?
get the right one.
Good point.
Megan, can you do the 16th?
I think so.
Tony?
It depends on the time, the start time of the meeting.
Is 4 o'clock good or not?
Not for me to make it in person, no. I am just getting off work at 4.
Well, we have, okay. We can put that on the agenda for the public hearing. And then the meeting would be after that. The public hearing could last 10 minutes. Depending upon if anyone from the public would like to come and comment.
Exactly, and I can work with Anne Marie on the notice for the hearing.
Okay. Good. So is there a motion to place a public hearing on the August 16th, 2022 agenda for the purpose of discussing remote access to meetings?
So moved. So moved.
Okay, been made,
Second.
seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Megan, Tony?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. No one's opposed. All right. That will be in place on the next meeting. All right. Any concluding comments from anyone as a press on? Andy, you have any questions?
Thank you.
No?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
There we go. No, thank you. I'm good.
Okay. I have 2 items. This morning I heard a discussion on NCPR regarding childcare. And I believe NCPR has actually received an award for their coverage of childcare. I think we should make it clear, and maybe we didn't the last meeting we had for childcare, that the Bridge and Port Authority has no intentions of dropping that, that we are proceeding ahead with hopefully providing a facility for an operator of a child care center within our industrial park campus. How soon we can do that, we don't know. But the fact is, every time an issue is thrown in our path, we'll move it aside and proceed with completing this project. It's not going to be done as quick as I would have liked it to be done, but I think the board supports it. And while it may not be done in 2022 or maybe even 2023, it will be done because it needs to be done. The other issue is I would like a request sent to DOT office in Watertown that we have large enough directional signs coming off the bridge approach road showing where the Augsburg International Airport is, both in English and French. From out here, again, on the beginning of 812, running on 37, and the turn off 37, coming back into the arterial onto 812. Okay?
We will do that.
And if there's an issue to Mr. Hennessy, please let me know. Anything else? If not, we need to adjourn and go into the Bridge Authority meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Also move.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor of adjourning this meeting, say aye.
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 No one opposed. Stay on because we have the Augsburg Bridge Authority Board meeting